how did that whole video come about of you getting eaten by the anaconda?
Well, okay. I'll say it like this. The first step for that, that was a reaction to the things that I'd seen. And when you live in the rainforest, you see these ancient trees getting cut. And each time an ancient tree gets cut, you're talking about a skyscraper of life. You're talking about something where there's reptiles, amphibians, birds, mammals, lichens, mosses, orchids, all this stuff living on this tree. It's taken hundreds of years, centuries to become this giant pillar of the forest. And then somebody comes in with a chainsaw, thing goes down. And so they do that, they board it up, send it out, and then they burn what's left. And so you see that again and again and again. And you go, oh my God, they weren't lying to me when I was a kid. The rainforests really are disappearing. They really are getting destroyed. And so we started looking for ways to protect the forest, which again, as now I'm a 20-something year old kid and I'm having all these crazy adventures. Great. And then, one night around a fire, JJ's father, old badass guy that had been in the Amazon his whole life. We were talking and they said, look, if this place isn't going to change into something very different from what it is, it has to be protected. We said, well, what does that look like? And so they just said, we need more support. We need, somehow we didn't have a plan. And so around that time, I got a call from Discovery Channel and they flew me out to LA and they said, look, we want to do a show about anacondas with you. And I said, great. So let's do it. And I told them how important they are, apex predators, all this stuff. They're such big, beautiful snakes. We had all this incredible footage to show them. And they were like, that's cool, but it's not enough. They're like, we need something more. And so I'm sitting in this room, and then I told them the story about the kid that got eaten, and then they said, no, there's no confirmed cases of a person being eaten by an anaconda. And of course, we have confirmed cases of people being eaten by a reticulated python, but we don't have for anaconda. And so I said, so what does that mean? So it's not true. Just, you know what I mean? Like a villager out in the middle of the Amazon, if his mother is eaten by an anaconda, he's not going to go film it with his phone and upload it to YouTube and go on CNN and be like, got it. Like that's not how they, so like, that's not like it doesn't happen. And just jokingly, I was like, dude, I should just like get in some sort of a protective suit and get swallowed to prove that it's possible, because these snakes are huge. And the guy was just like, that's it. He's like, you just hit it, kid. And I was like, oh no. And then I refused it. And then I talked to everyone, my friends and my family. I asked Jane Goodall about it. I said, should I? She was like, are you crazy? She said, you out of your mind. Don't
know anything about snakes?
Yeah, no, she knows everything about everything. She's Gandalf.
Wow.
She's Gandalf. Like, you think she's like an old lady or something. Yeah. She's a badass. But everyone told me not to do it, but the producers knew. I got an education in like getting screwed by Hollywood. It's
you and me both.
Yeah. They basically were like, we'll give you a 2-hour special. You can talk about ecology and conservation and do science, all that shit. They're like, just at the end, do this stunt. And if you do that, we'll give you a $3 million budget. We'll fund your research. We'll do this and and we'll do a huge fundraiser for the forest so you can protect the habitat. Blah, 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 blah. It was a huge train wreck. They changed everything. They didn't record any of the science. I mean, they did. They in the field they recorded all the science. We got to the studio, they threw all that out. They just put all the the blood and the craziness and the fear. Like one time they called and they said, we need you guys to look more scared. And it's like the drama. And it ended up in a huge train wreck. And I got trounced, and like Opie and Anthony were ripping me apart. Jimmy Kimmel told me to have sex with a hippo. I mean,
so where did you film it, and where did you find the anaconda?
JJ and his brother Pico, and we got some of our best and brightest of the young scientists that we work with, and we did a 6-week expedition through the Amazon looking for the largest anacondas on Earth. And and I had producers calling me. At one point I had a producer call on a sat phone. I'm like sitting by the side of a river in the middle of the Amazon, sat phone. And the guy calls me and he goes, listen, we need a danger beat. We need to lead out to the commercial. And it was like the day before we just caught like a 15-foot anaconda. And I was like, bro, that wasn't exciting enough for you? And he goes, no, we need something else. And I went, well, I don't know what, we got work to do here, man. And he was like, no, listen, kid. He was like, you're going to give me a danger beat. And I went, oh, okay, so what do you want? Next day he calls and he goes, look, we sat around a board. And this is a bunch of people sitting in a fucking air-conditioned room in LA.
Right.
And they go, you're going to be going upriver. And he goes, don't worry, you're going to look like the hero. Thanks, bro. He goes, you're going to look like the hero. He goes, because you're going upriver and you're going to notice that there's black piranha in the river. And he goes, you're going to tell everyone to pull the boat over. And then you're going to take a bucket of blood and pour it into the river. And then you're going to safely bring your people around the threat. And I went, how would a piranha hurt us in a boat? Huh? We swim in the river every day.
Mm-hmm.
Next, where am I going to get a bucket of blood from? And next, and then he just went, listen, kid. He was like, unless you think so. What in the end, what they made us do is they made us get in a stream and pretend that we were having an encounter with an electric eel.
Electric eel?
I mean, we've had encounters with electric eels, but we had to fake it. None of us are actors. And so like I had my friends like up to their chests in this stream, and I had to be like, whoa, guys, hold on. And like, let's get out. And like, you can see that we're all fucking acting. We're not.
Right.
It looks stupid, but that's what TV does. They hold a gun to your head and they're like, do what we ask.
Yeah.
And so that was a huge, and it ended up costing me a lot, like when you hear people talk about, like I lost like, a lot of scientists didn't want to deal with me. PETA came out after me because they said I was trying to hurt snakes, and then America didn't like it because I didn't actually get eaten. So like I got it from all ends. And then, but what I say now, though, is like, look, to people who criticize me for it, like, and I just missed out on a big environmental award like 6 years later because somebody Googled it and they were like, aren't you that guy that did that thing? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, all right, disqualified. I was going to win this like big award for like $60,000 and disqualified. And I was like, for a show that hurt no animals, that tried to protect the forest, no, crimes were committed. And it's just like what happens when I took a swing. You know what I mean? I took a swing and it missed, but you gotta try. And like, that's the thing. And that's what I would say to anybody. Cause I'm still, every now and then somebody will still be like, oh, you're the Anaconda guy. And it's like, yeah. How much forest are you protecting? What's the biggest thing you ever did? What's the biggest thing you ever sacrificed to try and protect something you love? Yeah, no. So that was a learning experience. So that was like by 24, 25, 26 or something. Yeah, I'd been through that. And then, so I pretty much had to like Chappelle myself and go to another country. So I went and stayed in India. Cause like after that, it was just like the media was just killing me. I was getting like death threats cause then I made the mistake of saying that, I don't think that people should keep snakes in small cages. They're wild animals and I appreciate them and stuff. And then I got, which I never knew existed, the herp community. It's like a bunch of dudes that keep snakes in boxes in like their mom's basements. And these people came out by the thousands and like were just like going crazy on social media because they love torturing snakes in small boxes in their mom's basements. They have like filing cabinets filled with amazing snakes from all over the world that never see the light of day. It's basically horrendous animal abuse.